Fish people, or I guess football freaks, whatever we want to call it. We're all back for another Friday night of fun. As you can see, I'm all jacked up. My computer upstairs took a crap right before we started, so I'll be live from my phone tonight. So I'll rely on Mr. Skipper to keep an eye on chat because I know he's always dual monitoring it. Ed, Skipper, how are you guys, man?
Good.
Great. Before we get too far, did we throw an invite to Austin?
What's that?
Did we invite Austin? Okay. Well, I'm doing great. I'm having a good weekend or a good week.
Nice. Well, Ed, tell them about your week. I'm going to go up and get some earphones so I can hear you guys. I can almost hear you, but not quite.
Skipper, I don't know if you heard about this, but the Chicago Bears made a huge trade today with the Carolina Panthers.
Really?
They the Chicago Bears had the number 1 pick overall in this year's draft. Carolina traded them their first round, which is the 9th pick overall for this year, their second round for this year, their first round for next year, and their second round for 2025, plus an all-pro wide receiver, DJ Moore. It's crazy. Chicago got so much better instantly.
Wow.
And I know this sounds horrible, but, they say 33% of starting quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round become good, starters. Only 33%. And this sounds really mean, but I hope that whoever they draft stinks because I think it's funny every time. I just find it so hilarious when people draft somebody and then they go down, in history as being a terrible draft.
Oh, man.
I think it's funny. Ew. I'm a horrible, horrible person.
That's a crazy, wow. That's a crazy trade for real. That's true.
That's a real trade that happened today, and we'll see if Kenny heard it. I might have to repeat it to him. We lost Kenny.
That's just crazy. That just sounds nuts to me. I've never heard of that before.
And I think the Bears are like $100 million under the salary cap, so they can do anything they want in the world. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Dee Dee. Scuba Steve is in the house. TJ Autocross, the coolest Todd I know. My old boss was named Todd, and he was not very cool. He's like the opposite of cool. But
Dennis Christensen.
Oh, yeah, Dennis is always awesome. Jason doesn't know. I don't know if he's here still, but hiya. And Maria Z. Craig, good day to you, sir. So, but yeah, that was just an insane trade today. I wonder who Jennifer Weaver's favorite football team is. I bet you think it's the Steelers or...
It's hard to tell.
Or the Eagles? Which side of the state does she live on?
I think she's pretty middle.
Well, I hope you're a Steelers fan, Jennifer. So she's an Eagles fan. Well, gosh, I hope she's not mad at me. If it makes you feel any better, my favorite all-time player is Randall Cunningham. I love Randall. And I have rooted for the Eagles probably most of my life as like one of my backup teams. And my high school team was even the Eagles too. So, yep.
All right, now I can hear you guys. Perfect.
We got to say hi to Brianna.
Oh, hi, Brianna. Oh,
I
was supposed to say hi to a different Brianna yesterday. And I missed it, and I felt so bad. But it was
Did you all run through the whole Lowe's?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good deal.
It's the Brianna with Foxy Fish and Peplin.
That's who I'm talking about. You're supposed to say hello now.
Oh, hello. I'm so sorry. I wanted to say hello to you yesterday, and then I got so distracted by the thing I was making. I felt so bad.
10 minutes into the game, and we already got edited.
Yep. I thought it was Brianna's Fish Fam was here. That's awesome. But did you hear about the giant trade today that happened?
Yes, I did. Chicago got DJ Moore, which is one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion. And they picked up the 9th pick overall. And was it a third or a fourth round they got in addition to all that? So as much as the Vikings fan doesn't want to say it, that was a hell of a trade they got. I think they made out like bandits.
This is what they got. They got the 9th round or the 9th pick overall, the 61st pick overall in this draft. So I think that's the end of the 2nd round. Then they got a 1st round next year and a 2nd round in 2025.
And
DJ.
And DJ Moore.
And they're like $100 million under the salary cap.
And there's a lot of edge talent that's going to be there at pick 9, which that's one of their weak spots. They need some edge.
Yeah, the Chiefs were talking about trying to trade up to get one of those top 3 guys.
Well, you never know. Awesome. Chicago might say to hell with it and trade again. You don't know. Maybe they pick up another 2.
They're totally rebuilding. The Chiefs are they have 13 draft picks or 12 or 13 draft picks this year, and the draft is in Kansas City.
Dude,
so
I am so done.
Going to be doing some stuff.
After today, I am just so fed up with my Vikings. I can spit fire, man. I really can. I mean, it was the whole mix, dude. I mean, we cut E.J. Henderson. We just today got rid of Mr. Minnesota, Adam Thielen, which I am appalled by. All so we can keep a bum of a quarterback around. I mean, I don't get it. We got a bum of a quarterback, and we keep sending our best talent packing in order to keep this bum. And he's nowhere in Rodgers. You know what I mean? He's not even – at this point, I wouldn't even call that guy – I think at this point, I'd almost rather have – who was the worst quarterback we've had in the last 20 years? I mean, I put him up there. That's how mad. Because of Kirk Cousins, in the last 2 years, we've gotten rid of Stephon Diggs, Anthony Barr, now Kendricks, now Adam Thielen. Really? Are you freaking kidding me? Patrick Peterson we let walk? Good locker room. I'm just fed up, man. I might just say, you know what? Ed, throw me one of them red jerseys, baby, because I might have to actually roll with it next year.
Well, it can, and since it's a different conference, you can always just like keep them for the time, just part time.
No,
until your team rebuilds.
It
would take you forever.
I was so mad, dude. Because I got this thing, it dings on my phone, so I'm at work when I find it out. I threw my phone down, and my guy's like, "What's going on? Something going on at the house or what?" I said, "No, the freaking Vikings just got rid of Thielen, man."
Yeah, that was sad.
Well, the Steelers released Jackson, and it's a trade with the Washington Commanders. It was their cornerback. But it didn't say who they got.
Who traded him?
Steelers did.
Well,
they traded him, and then they traded Carlin Platt to the Cincinnati Bengals, or they traded them out too. I don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not good times
Well-
to be a good It's not good times at all to be a Vikings fan right now.
I'm sorry, buddy. Well, my Chiefs, they cut 2 of their big name players. But one I was so thankful they cut. Frank Clark, they had his deal set up so he was going to make $28.5 million if they kept him this year. He had 4.5 sacks last year. 3 of them were against the 49ers in one game. So since he's never had more than 8 sacks in a season in the 4 years we got him, from Seattle, every year he's digressed worse and worse. I'm glad he's gone. The Chiefs can pick up a guy for a fraction of the cost that'll show up and play and get 4 sacks, but he'll play all the time.
You see
So,
that comment? Scuba Steve's asking for a butt kicking, man. Oh, I can't highlight. There we go. Saying, you ask me, it's never a good time to be a Vikings fan. Really, Steve-O? You wait till I see that little crip at the next function I see him at. We're going to have words, man.
Watch out. He might throw a extra fish in with your fish. Kenny's the type of guy who'll buy a piranha to throw in with your cichlid in the middle of a show.
Nah, I don't need a piranha, man. I got one cichlid in particular with mincemeat, any of his cichlid.
But then the Chiefs didn't franchise tag Orlando Brown. And a lot of people are saying it's crazy, but I think it was great. The Chiefs offered him $23 million a year last year to be the 3rd highest paid tackle, and he was horrible this year. The only game he played good was the Super Bowl, and that's all people are remembering. Oh my gosh. Is that a Cuban?
No, that is a Haitian. That is a black nasty.
Oh.
And this is a female.
It's pretty, though. Well, you better watch out. If you put that in with Scuba Steve-O's fish, she'll probably end up pregnant.
No, it'll kill him.
But, okay.
Money black nasty.
I don't know what Baby Cat's doing. Baby Cat's right here. But yeah, so I was happy about that the Chiefs are going to save another $20 million by not re-signing that guy. I have no idea what Baby Cat is doing right now. She's looking at the shrimp. I don't think she's ever
shrimp salad.
She's never looked at my shrimp before. Meow, what you doing? I think she wants to sleep next to Nico, but he's not letting her on. See, Nico's sleeping right here, and I don't think he's letting her sleep in there because it's too tight. Keeps kicking her out. But, what do you guys want to talk? I just got whipped in the face by a cattail. You guys want to talk about some other crazy moves or not so crazy moves in the league?
Well, by far so far, I would say obviously Chicago has me scared because they are coming out swinging this year, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what Carolina was thinking, man. I mean, there's some pretty, I would say, B-plus type quarterbacks available that you could have probably got cheap in free agency this year that I don't know if I would have gave up the farm for that pick.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it backfires because it'll be funny.
I mean, Bryce Young is a hell of a young man, and I think he's going to be a hell of a quarterback, but I don't know if it's worth giving up all they gave up to get the guy. It's nice. You're going to get a good quarterback. Who do you got? And then on top of it, you throw away his best option at receiver as part of the deal. So what's the kid going to have?
Yeah. And they aren't going to have anybody to pick up in the next several drafts to help him either. Okay, so let's move around the league. Baltimore, their situation with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wants to get paid the same contract as the top guy in the league for Cleveland. Deshaun Watson. Gosh, I wish Deshaun Watson, which is $230 he wants 230 million or something for 5 years guaranteed. And for a running back, quarterback, I don't think so. Well, the team has told him, see if you can find a trade with anybody. And he's gone around the horn and nobody wants him.
Well, of course not, dude. Not for that kind of money.
Yeah.
He's
I don't think he's
he's not an A-plus tier quarterback yet. He's not there. He has a lot to learn as far as the position goes. Yes, he's a hell of an athlete. Great, great, great running back, obviously. But to be a quarterback in this league, you have to have that it factor, and I don't think he's shown that yet as far as the ability to win the big games.
Well, and the arm, the passing has to be on. And, I mean, he's amazing runner, but yeah. So, he's in your conference. Skipper, what do you think about Lamar Jackson?
He's just, I'm not saying he's bad, but he needs to just quit acting like that because now he's getting cocky.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to backfire.
He's also been hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always hurt.
I don't know where this came from because if you all recall, when he first came in the league, he was a pretty humble guy. It's just the last year or so, he started to get a little cocky, you know. I look at it like this. I would have loved to have been able to play the sport that I love and get paid for it. I mean, you're already living most people's dream. I mean, and then you want $230 million. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'd be happy. Give me 10 and free Super Bowl tickets for like 5 years. I'd be sold. Done. I'm on it.
The money these guys ask for whenever they've been in the league for a while is ridiculous.
So let's say we're trending down. We're all saying together, keeping Lamar isn't the best move.
Not at that money. What are you going to do to build your team?
Yeah.
You got no money to do it.
No, they can do that. That's good for the Steelers. I'm fine with that.
Well, okay, now let's move to my conference, the Raiders. They franchise tagged Josh Jacobs. I think that was a super move. It cost $10.5 million. That's a lot of money for a running back, but he was amazing this year. And, I mean, I hate seeing the Raiders do the right move, but I think that was the right move.
Well, I guess they're due one. I mean, 1 out of 10 is not bad odds, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, they did a Dumbo move with Carr. I still don't understand that. And hats off to Carr, huh? He works out.
Yeah.
He declines a trade to the Saints and then ends up going to the Saints for $150 million and $100 million guarantee. And what did he do to the Raiders? He said, we'll keep our first-round draft pick. Thank you very much, so I can give me a receiver.
Yep.
Well, we'll move the Carr. Carr's on the list. Are we all saying that it was smart for the Raiders to keep Jacobs?
Jacobs, yes, but it's only because they had to do something to keep the fans' attention span.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move straight to Carr. Carr went to New Orleans, signed a $150 million 4-year deal.
That was smart.
$100 million guaranteed.
Yes.
So now you got to ask, is Jackson even worth that kind of money?
No, I would
rather
have
You got Derek Carr or Jackson. Who you want on your team right now?
Yeah.
And he's only $150 million. The money for that guy for me is about $80 million. What do you think, Ed? I think $80 million is probably the cap he should be making.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I could go $90 million for 3 years.
For that guy?
$30 million a year because we'll get to this, but Tannehill is getting paid, I think, $32 million, and Tannehill's really stinky.
Yeah, he's not.
But I mean, truth be known, I'd take Jackson over Cousins. That tells you how grossly overpaid I think Cousins is.
That's true too. Okay, so but we're all in agreement that I just broke my pen. Okay, I fixed it. We're all in agreement though that the car was a good move.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
I think right now New Orleans is about, I don't know for sure, but I think it's somewhere between 80 and 90 million over the cap.
Then they're going to have to probably, I think they're going to get rid of Thomas. They got a couple of aging safe. Oh my God, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Two to my Vikings did. I knew there was something else that really infuriated me. They got rid of Harrison Smith as well.
What are they
Crazy.
doing?
Harrison Smith got cut today too. Thielen and Smith got cut within 2 hours of each other. All so we can make room under the cap for Cousins.
Wow, that's terrible. Yeah, you guys should have cut Cousins and went after Carr.
That's what we should have done.
You would have still been a playoff team.
Now we
Losing all
destroyed
those
our team's
players.
toast. Done.
I'm sorry to say that. Okay, so Cowboys, they franchise tagged Tony Pollard.
That's a great move.
But they have Zeke, who's already making like $20 million a year. They paid Zeke; he was the highest paid running back last year. But they said that it was all Gary Jones that signed him. He wanted him so bad, and made Zeke the richest running back of all time, and he was the backup last year.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, I don't know. They're going to have to cut Zeke, I think. And hopefully they don't have $10 million in dead cap. But they may cut Zeke, take whatever dead cap they have, and just say, well, they're applying that to Tony Pollard and say that's their $20 million running back. Because he's better.
Yeah, but
No,
I think I've said it a few other times in the past on the show. It's times like that when you're an aging veteran, you still haven't got yourself a ring yet. Wouldn't you, if you're a Zeke Elliott, take it in the keister 1 year just to see if y'all have a shot? Bring in another good free agent, I don't know, like an Odell Beckham. See if y'all can't get that ring.
Yep.
Again,
So
not to tout your worst enemy, Ed, but that's where Tom Brady was smart, man. He knew how to take pay cuts to get good players.
Is that name on your list, Ed? Because I got a question.
No, he's completely retired. But go for your question.
Why is he looking at the Dolphins?
Are you sure he's looking at the Dolphins, or was that information that ex-coach put out when he was under contract and he was shopping for teams, which is another illegal thing that he did. While he was under contract with New England, he went to Miami and was trying to negotiate contracts. And nobody mentions the things that he does illegal, but that was something that was a bad that he shouldn't have done.
I read that, and maybe it was past tense, but it said that I don't know. I was wanting to know if you guys seen that or not. I saw it last week, a few days ago, and I think it was Tuesday. I didn't know.
I think there's an awful lot of rumors going on that are just rumors too. Just so they have something to write about. So I'm trying to stay away from a lot of the rumors and just go for the hard facts tonight. But we can bring up all the rumors we want as soon as we get done with the hard facts list. So let's go with Tony Pollard as a smart move.
That was the biggest, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Pollard's a good guy.
Okay. New York. Okay, they have a double move that they did this week. Saquon Barkley, I think it was a good move that they put him on the franchise tag. He got the exact same money as Pollard, $10.5 million, because it's the average of the top 5 running back or top 5 of your position. So that's why it's 10.5. That's the average running back pay for the top 5. I think that was a good move because I think Shankwan's pretty awesome. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing Shankwan. Okay. But here's the dumb move that I think they did. They signed Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million deal with $35 million in incentives. So almost, he's going to be getting, I think that'll break down to about, is that $45 million a year? 4 years into, that could be close to, that's close. If he gets his incentives, that's close to $50 million a year. That's nuts for a guy who stinks.
What's going on here? Like,
it's nuts. They paid him. They could have went after Carr for 150, but instead they spent possibly another $45 million on the crappier quarterback.
We'll take it one step further, Ed. They probably could have got Jimmy G for about $20 million a year right now.
Yeah, nuts. So, I think they are going to be just right here in the middle, one up and one down for me. What do you bet? A lot of people are saying it's impressive they kept both of them because most people didn't think they'd be able to keep both. But it's not like they're winning playoff games.
Mm-mm.
Oh, rub it in, Ed.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. But you know what I mean. So
yeah, they can barely win playoff games unless they're playing the Vikings. Just say it, Ed.
Yeah, but you made it further than the Steelers this year, so you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Those were our big moves of the week. Now I have the top 9 free agents out there, and it could have changed with cuts today because like Adam Thielen isn't on this list because I didn't get him on it.
Well, I'm telling you, somebody's going to pick up a hell of a receiver and somebody's going to pick up a hell of a safety and a linebacker.
Yeah, it's crazy. But okay, so number 9 free agent, Courtland Sutherland, wide receiver for Denver. Denver. Right now, he's the 2 teams that are talking the most to him are Atlanta and Houston. And these are guys that are gonna be getting cut or traded to save because the teams are they're over the cap and they have to make a move. That's what these 9 players are. So these are 9 players that you might be able to get a really good deal on. Okay, so like they might be had for like a 5th round draft pick just to get their contract off the team is what I'm saying. Or they're going to be cut and then they get nothing for them. But Courtland Sutton, he will save them $6.8 million on the cap if they can get him traded. And they're talking to Atlanta, and I think Atlanta would be smart to get him. And they're talking to Houston. I think Houston would be smart to get him.
I don't know, man. I'm not impressed by that guy.
Okay.
I personally am not. I mean, I think it's because I've had him once or twice in my fantasies. He's done nothing goose egg almost every time. And if he's doing a goose egg in fantasy, that means he's not doing that great on the field either, right?
True.
Yeah, that means he's probably worse on the field because we give him 2 points, 1 point for a catch and 1 point for every 10 yards. So that means he's even worse for them. Well,
he laid up some goose eggs. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I'm saying that they're going to be stuck with him and they'll probably cut him instead of trade him. So let's say he'll be a cut. Okay, Ryan Tannehill for Tennessee. Tennessee is really tired of Tannehill. He hasn't done anything. If they cut him, they save $17.8 million. But if they trade him, they save $23.6 million. So
they're not going to get anybody to pick up that contract, though. That's the problem.
That's what I think. I don't think anybody's going to want.
They're going to have no choice but to cut him.
Man. Yeah, they're going to cut him.
Okay, he's a cut. Okay, Allen Robertson for the Rams. Crazy signing last year. The Rams have got to cut him. The Rams are so far over the cap, it's insane. And I think that the Rams are making a lot of this stuff up. But like, they're saying the Bears or New England are interested. I don't think the Bears would be interested at all because they were the ones that let him go last year. Why would the Bears go and they made that trade for DJ Moore today. So I think that's even more or less likely.
Yeah, that's not happening.
In New England, that you got to respect one thing is they are cheap and play hardball. So I don't think that they're going to want to spend $14.5 million on a guy.
No.
What did he have? He didn't even have but 2 touchdowns last year, did he?
He was horrific. Just
horrific. I know because I had him on one of my teams too.
I believe I did.
I loved him. Back when he was a young kid, he was awesome. I drafted him like at the end of the draft 2 years in a row, and he got 1,000 yards both years. And then it's just been tanking.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the big name. San Diego made a huge trade to get him, Khalil Mack, from the Bears halfway through the season last year. And now San Diego's saying, wait a minute, we can't afford to pay him $27.5 million.
I think somebody picks up that contract. I think he gets traded.
He's so good.
He's probably still worth at least a late first round, second round pick. I would pay that to get Khalil Mack on my squad.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Bears. I should have checked to see what the Bears got for him, but I think they got a first round draft pick for him.
Yeah, they did.
So the Bears are going to still be awesome this year with the drafts. Okay. Well, they say that Cincinnati's interested, and I can totally see Cincinnati being interested, and Detroit.
Oh, so don't want to see him back in our league, man. Not with
I would like to see him out of mine and in yours.
No thing.
I think he'd be better off at Cincy.
Yeah, well.
Detroit, buddy, I'm telling you, Detroit is coming up hard. I think that team's going to be a real force to be reckoned with in the next 3 years. And that coach is doing a good job getting them psyched out. I told that at the beginning of the season. I thought that team was going to do well because every coach on that team was a former player.
Oh, did not know that.
Every coach from receivers up, all the way up the ranks are all ex-NFL players.
That's going to benefit them. I didn't know that. And maybe it would be best if he went to Detroit then.
Maybe. Now, do the Vikings have any money at all?
No. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We have no money because we gave it all to the bum Cousins.
Dang it.
So now we've lost every player that has made us what we are now history. We lost Thielen, who was always our offensive guru, got everybody fired up. We lost Diggs, who was another one. We lost him last year. And now they've gotten rid of 3 of our defensive leaders again, along with Barr last year. All are casualties of hiring a world-class fraud bum Kirk Cousins.
Real quick, I want to say hey to Melvin, Mr. Legacy himself, and Daniel is here. And you know what? I'm going to go on the YouTube side real quick and go in there and give a big thumbs up to this channel. So that way, and if everybody else could give a big thumbs up, it would be amazing.
And so early in our game, guys, if you could, share it out on your channels and let people know about us. We'd appreciate it.
We also had Tampa.
We're up to 32 subs.
We what?
Tampa.
We're up to. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
You're fine. Tampa.
Go ahead.
Also.
Tampa Tom, he's a stud. And I respect what Tampa Tom did with the Brady. They didn't let him cheat for the years that he was there. Even though he may be on his wife, but not on the rest of the league.
Oh, are you going to bring his personal life into it, Ed? Really?
Well, there's a lot of hot women in Florida. So
You heard it here first. What really happened?
Oh man.
I don't know, bro. Giselle hot? Really?
I don't know.
That's a kind of tough one.
I haven't really checked her out, but I heard she's like a Broadway or one of those models that walk up and down the track or whatever to show off stuff.
Supermodel.
Yeah, I don't really dig those pencil girls. I don't like being able to count the ribs on a woman.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, number 5. Jalen Ramsey. The corner for the Rams.
You gotta give me a second.
Give me 1 second, and damn. You know what cracks me up about him, Skipper, is that he'll go from what he just did there just straight back to the facts.
Oh man! All right.
Go ahead, proceed, Ed. Go ahead.
I'm ready.
The Rams sold out a couple years ago, and they bought, and I'm not saying they bought a Super Bowl as a bad thing. They sold out and went deep to get their Super Bowl, but they knew they were getting a bunch of old guys for a whole lot of money that they were going to have to back in pay to get them to play then. And so now they got to get rid of these players. And they got Jaden Ramsley that they're trying to get rid of. He's known as the best corner in the league.
They were trying
to say that LA was trying to say that the Chiefs would want him. The Chiefs have Snead, and they need to extend his contract. So the Chiefs aren't going to go after Jaden if they've got Snead. Snead had 7.5 sacks at corner. The dude's
I'll throw
really
an
good.
outside shot to you, and I'm going to Peplin's in here. I think a team that has little room under the cap that could go after that guy, and they already got Deshaun out there in New York Jets. Can you imagine that guy lining up to the opposite side of Sauce Gardner? I mean, come on now.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nobody's throwing on him. And then they miraculously bring in Rodgers.
Peplin, if you want to come up with us, you sure can, too. Give us your opinion of the. Okay.
That would be good.
But Jaden costs $17 million to whoever's going to trade for him. And right now they're saying.
This anyway.
Oh, what?
I was feeling what you were saying, and then all of a sudden you said how much. And
yeah, that's $17 million.
That's a lot of money.
But when you do negotiate contracts, sometimes you can negotiate that the other team pays some of the contract too. I've seen that. But the whole reason why they're getting rid of him is to get rid of the contract.
But the problem is you have the Chicago Bears sitting out there with a little stockpile of draft picks already. They have the cap space. They're in need of a shutdown corner. I bet you he ends up a Bear.
You know what? I'm going to say possibly a Bear. Right now, they said the teams that are most interested in him are the Buffalo Bills.
How are they going to afford him, though?
I don't know. And the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't see how the Dallas Cowboys can afford him. But, yeah, that's a good question. But you guys think he'll end up getting traded? I think he'll get traded before he gets cut because he's too darn good.
I think Chicago would be in the play for it, man.
And Chicago might be willing to give up a 5th-round draft pick and get this guy.
What are you talking about? I could see them giving up a 2nd or 3rd round to get the guy. They're draft heavy this year.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I would give as little as possible and say you're saving their cap.
It's true.
No,
that's a good way to look at it too.
Yeah, but there's still that guy is all day. If you had to pick a pick tomorrow and he was in the draft, you're picking him. He's still got that kind of juice to him. So I think the guy's going to go for, I think the minimum he's going to go for is a second and most likely a late first round pick is what somebody's going to give for him that's got cap space. The problem is there's not a lot of teams with a ton of cap space this year, man.
Yeah, there's not.
Chicago. Tampa's probably got a little bit of cap space.
Yeah, let's find out. Tampa's got to pick up a quarterback.
Yeah.
But this is there's 3 starting ability quarterbacks this year in the draft first round. So
look at those numbers. Atlanta's number 2 at 63 million. Houston 41. Las Vegas 39.
yeah, see, there isn't a lot of cap space.
Cincinnati 35 for Cincinnati. Now, this was made 3 days ago before the Chiefs cut their players. I think the Chiefs are close to 40, but they've got to pick up 4 players with that 40 million. They can need a defensive end, offensive tackle left and right. They lost both tackles, but both tackles were their weakest spot, and they still have to sign Juju. So really, the Chiefs don't really have the cap space you think they have. But
the damn eyes are still watering for Med, man.
I was thinking about eating some Reblets.
Ooh, I could eat those. I'm kind of hungry, guys. Okay, Darius Slay, the corner.
No, you got it.
Corner for Darius Slay. Who's Darius Slay play for? I forgot to write. Detroit? Well, he's making $26.1 million. So they think that the Detroit will want to trade him to make all that space up because they're overpaying
I don't
him.
think anybody will trade for that cap number on him. That's the money that
Crazy.
Man. But yeah,
It's
he
just
plays for
crazy.
Detroit right now. Or is he play for the Giants? Hold on, I might be wrong. Is it the Giants or is it Detroit?
Is Alshon saying Eagles?
Ooh,
he play
it's
for
the Eagles. It's the Eagles, and the Eagles already. I think the Eagles have like
But
90
Eagles got him from
dead
Detroit,
money.
right? Because he started off in Detroit.
Yeah. He's playing with the Eagles right now, though.
The Eagles are going to have to move him because they're so messed up with their money right now. It's unbelievable.
And they got
They
a lot
went
of
all
key
in
players.
last year, hardcore.
They got a lot of key players. They're going to want some money.
Well, they're talking to Arizona and Cincinnati, which Cincinnati makes sense since they got a lot of money, I guess. But Cincinnati,
That's not a lot
who
of
would
money,
you rather
though, Ed.
have? Cincinnati has 35 million under the cap. They could pick up Slay or Mack. Who
They
do
ain't
you
picking
pick
both
up?
up.
I know, but which one would you pick up?
Mac.
I think I'd pick up Slay
Really?
because they got to beat the Chiefs' passing game.
Yeah, but Mac's going to bring the heat. That's probably going to keep Mr. Mahomes on his toes.
Mack is an inside linebacker, and the Chiefs have the strongest inside. Their 3 guys, their center and 2 guards, are the best in the league.
Ed, you're going to tell me you didn't do a happy dance when you found out he got traded? Yeah,
I
that's
was
what
mad.
thought.
I was not happy when he got traded to San Diego.
Yeah, I'm
When
saying
the Bears,
the first time he left the Raiders for the Bears, you can't tell me you weren't happy.
he never did much in our games. I never paid too much attention to him. I started paying attention to him when he went to the Bears because everybody made such a big deal about him. I'm like, man, I never even heard this guy's name, and I watch all the games.
There's little
So
Miss
I don't know.
Staff.
But I did pay a lot more attention to him once he got to San Diego. But when he was out there with Boza and that other defensive end, oh, that was scary. So Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. But you think they're going to have to? I think they're going to have to cut Slay. He's going to be an awesome pickup for someone.
Yeah, nobody's
Free
going to pay
agent.
that money, man.
Who's
I don't
Slay
think so.
playing for again? I missed that.
Eagles.
He's playing the
Yeah.
Eagles, but the Eagles, literally, I think they have 90 million dead cap money. That means players that can't. That's like money that they're paying players that are already gone. Or maybe they paid the contracts for the players they traded away to get the play. I don't know how the dead money worked, but they're up the creek when it comes to dead money. It's insane. Plus all their players, so they got to put it
They
together.
probably got dead money pool still laying there from Carson Wentz.
Cool.
Yeah, probably. That's terrible.
That.
Okay, here's number 3. And this is one that I like. The Chiefs have already said that they are, or he has actually said that he would go to the Chiefs on he would like re-sign his contract for a lot less, which is cool. If Arizona would trade him. Deshaun Hopkins. Deshaun is making.
That's DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre. He's making $28.5 million. But if he would come to the Chiefs and make 15, I think the Chiefs would do it. But that's the only way he's going to make it to the Chiefs. Right now, the only 2 teams that will trade, without negotiating with them, that they're talking to is Indianapolis and New York Giants. And that's because the New York Giants really need a wide receiver.
And you know what? I hate to say it, but I think his best destination would be the Giants in that case.
Yeah.
He already got a good running game. The quarterback, he's not flashy, but he doesn't make dumb bonehead mistakes anymore. He cleaned up his game.
He did.
Well, the Chiefs told Arizona and him they didn't want to negotiate with him until they negotiate with Juju. And Juju was in meetings with Chicago, and the Chiefs told Juju, if Chicago's willing to give you that money, you should take it, because we can't. But we would love to keep you back here. But today, Chicago got DJ Moore, so he may end up coming back to the Chiefs anyway.
Tail between his legs and probably
goes, it'll be interesting.
Take a pay cut. You're going to have to now.
But Hopkins is probably going to be a trade.
Hopkins, I think, would be a good pickup for the Chiefs if they could get him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wants to win he told the Chiefs he would play 2 years on a totally restructured new contract for a whole lot less to be able to try to win a Super Bowl. So but still, if not, he had to go for his almost $30 million a year for the remaining 2 years on his contract. Okay. So we think a trade there. Aaron Rodgers for Green Bay. He's number 2 on the list of talked about guys that are going to be cut, traded, or kept.
Well, I think Austin hit it on the head last week. The Green Bay Packers, if they do not make a move soon, Love's going to lose interest and move on because he's going to want a chance to play. I mean, you only got so many years to shine in the league, and I think Green Bay's coming to realization they don't really have enough around Rodgers at this point, right? So it'd probably make more sense to go ahead, get some value out of him, because you wait another year, who wants a 40-year-old quarterback? The Tom Brady's don't come around very often,
No.
So I think if they can get a number 1 for him and the Jets are willing to give that number 1, I think both parties win in this case. I really believe that. I think Jets come out a better team, and I think that the Packers can turn the page and start to build a better team now.
Yeah, I think that's what the Packers need to do is do something, because that'll definitely help them getting rid of him.
Yeah, they got a young kid in Watson, hell of a receiver. He's going to grow to be a great guy as far as the receiver goes. They got Love. I personally, unlike Austin, I don't think Love has what it takes to be a great quarterback in this. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. But I think the only way Green Bay is going to find that out is they got to play the guy, and I don't think he's shown him anything in the time he's played. But we'll see. Time will tell.
I bet
But
you'd rather.
By getting rid of Rodgers, the main thing is they're going to gain a tremendous amount of cap space, which then will buy more keys to the puzzle. They need help on their offensive line. They need help on their defensive line.
I think they save $80 million over the next 2 years if they trade him.
Yeah, I mean $40 million a year.
Yeah,
that would help them to be able to start thinking what they're going to do next year. You know,
$4 million will buy a lot of fat boys.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of trades during the draft, but this is one of those type of trades that Aaron Rodgers won't be traded at with the Jets.
And I still don't think we can count out our boys out there in Nevada either.
Well,
I still think Davante Adams is pissed as can be that they got rid of his college buddy that drug him to Las Vegas. If they want to keep Adams, I think that you're going to see some sort of an offer coming from the Raiders on this deal too.
That's a great point. Well, it's just any trade with him is what I'm trying to say is going to take time because you have to get Aaron's approval.
I think Aaron's ready for I think he's tired of. I think he's almost like where Favre was at. You know, he just.
And yeah, he might take Las Vegas or New Jersey.
I think either place he goes, they both sides would benefit again. I think Rodgers to Las Vegas would make them an instant contender in that division, assuming that they can get some more defense. Their defense is, but it's also a younger defense, so I think they could have a good shot with Rodgers at the helm.
Well,
I don't think it's going to take a lot for Rodgers to say he would go somewhere because whenever you watched him play, and then the way he talked and carried himself after the games, he's getting fed up. I think he's ready to move on.
Another one that nobody's talking about that I think should be in the mix too. I think Stafford's arm is toast, and I would not be shocked if all of it blew. Here comes the Rams trying to get in the mix. The only thing keeping them from it is their cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they would if they could get Rodgers and somehow miraculously keep under the cap doing it, I could see them going for it.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, hey, Aqualife Steph is here. How are you doing?
We got Chance Larson in the house.
Chance.
Peplin says Rodgers should just stick to playing Jeopardy.
Right now, he's at a convention on drugs in Denver. He's in Denver right now about what is it? Like, what do mushrooms, what's that called? Psychedelics?
Psychedelics, yeah.
Yeah, he's at a psychedelics convention as a speaker.
Rodgers
but it's actually, Rodgers is. And normally people would freak out about something like that if their quarterback was. But he's been around so long. And it's mostly doctors. And it's all about psychedelics helping people with brain problems.
They found that the psychedelics do wonders with MS. Mm-hmm. And then I think they're doing another study where the psychedelics are supposed to be helping with the Alzheimer's.
And I think they wanted to see if they can do it to help with the concussion players too. I think that's the main reason for him doing that. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, I've just never been a big Jets fan, but when I have friends and stuff that enjoy teams, I like to root for my friends' teams, and I've really been rooting for Peplin's team a lot this year. I found myself. So, Peplin, I hope your team keeps doing good because it's fun to watch them, and I'll hate them when they play the Chiefs, but any other time, go for it, man. It's neat seeing a bad team get better, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the number one pick move actually got signed today was Brandon Cook. And Brandon Cook got re-signed with Houston.
Really?
So
I
I
wouldn't have
threw
seen
this
that
one
one
out
coming.
there. Yeah. I was shocked myself. So the new number one is there's a lot of talk about Michael Thomas with New Orleans because New Orleans is way over the cap also right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably get cut. And Kamara, maybe, because you all see that tape that came out on Kamara?
I saw it a year ago. I saw that from last year, and maybe they took it off the internets or something, but I saw the whole thing where the guy tried to get into the elevator. Kamara, well, I don't know which guy pushes him out of the elevator, and then they all just start beating him up. And that guy is blind in one eye now. It's terrible. But all because they didn't want somebody to get on the elevator with them. And they're in a casino with 1 million cameras at every angle.
Oh, I do remember seeing that now.
But Kamara should be in jail. He shouldn't even be cut.
No.
And then I think that how the NFL works is if your player dies or goes to jail, I think they give some part of the cap money back. The cap hit. So you don't take a full 100% loss. And I'm sure it is for deaths, but I think it might be for jailed guys too, but I'm not for sure with that. But okay. But Michael Thomas is making $26 million a year. And he only played like 4 games last year, no games a year before, and I think like 3 or 4 the year before that. He's just been so injury prone.
And they got a couple of good rookies that they can trust now that I don't see that they need him around anymore.
No.
So
the guy that I think they should cut also is their backup starting whatever tight end guy, that Jason Hill.
Tatum Hill.
He is making like 16 million or something. It's insane.
You know what though? I think that guy is worth it.
Let's see. Is it Jason Hill?
Tatum Hill.
Tatum. We're going to find out. Oh, never mind. Well, wait. That was from 2001. He made $7.5 million in 2001. So I don't know what he's making now.
We got somebody backstage.
Oh, awesome. You know what? I would keep him. He's not that bad anymore. He's he's 33 years old. I didn't realize he was that old, but he's only making $3.5 million a year. So that's not that bad. I thought he was still making that possible quarterback money as a tight end. That was horrible. But
sorry about that, Austin. I'm on the phone tonight, so I can't see you like I see you on the normal computer there.
That's all good. Funny enough, I'm actually on my phone here too. My wife and I are just getting back from a hockey game as well. So
that's cool.
Nice.
Great minds think alike, I guess. Hopefully, you guys can hear me just fine
you know
too.
what? I can't hear a word.
So you kind of hit on it last week. I'm sure you're not surprised and would be quite happy if Rodgers took a hiatus away from the Packers at this point, huh?
I mean, yes and head down.
He'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, as a Packer fan, I mean, it's really, I mean, as I would say, my father would say, as an old saying, it's the Webster's Dictionary definition of bittersweet. I mean, we all kind of saw it coming. We all kind of foresaw it. I mean, we all kind of knew that if Rodgers is going to be traded, this would be the year to do it because it's the cheapest one. It's the lowest cap hit of all the other past 3 years. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, it's still sad to see him go because I really would have loved to get him another ring. But I also say, okay, at some point we also got to, at some point we also got to be like, okay, Jordan Love has waited 3 years at this point. At some point you got to let the kid play, and at some point we just got to say, look, we've been trying this one more year thing for how long? At some point you just got to say, look, I'm sorry guys, we didn't make it. Let's rebuild and try again. And I feel like at this point it's a matter of get something for Rodgers while you still can. And at least that way, if he doesn't retire, which is still on the table, I highly doubt it, but at least this way you can still get something for, a 4-time MVP and all that.
Ed's backstage. Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, again, as a Packer fan, it's still really sad because, at the same time, I've been very fortunate to say that during my lifetime, we've had 2 quarterbacks. We've had Brett Favre, and then we transitioned to Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, if you include the people in between there, Brett Hundley, Seneca Wallace, I think, did a game, Matt Flynn, of course, and then, but really outside that,
poor Matt Flynn, dude. That kid I felt bad for. Played a hell, finally made it to where he's going to be a starting quarterback, and then what happens? They draft Wilson, and he loses his.
Yeah, I felt bad for that dude too, because
he went out there to Seattle, thought he was going to be a starter, and then he ends up losing the starting role to Wilson.
That was money on the Seahawks, I guess. But I felt bad for Flynn too, because that dude, he was good. I felt like he could have been a decent starter in the NFL had that not happened.
Oh, man.
Well, guys, we've already been over an hour.
Yeah.
Already.
Wow.
This show goes quicker than our normal screens, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you were I don't know if you guys talked about this, but Roger trade compensation, what are you guys thinking on that?
I think he's still worth the number 1.
You mean like a first-round pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not first overall, no, but a first-round pick,
no.
Yeah.
Personally, I agree. I always said, where if it's the Raiders or the Jets, I'm sorry. In the Jets case, if you don't offer me at least a 13th pick, I'm hanging up the phone. But, at this point, too, there's also the question about how much longer Rodgers is going to play. Because, if he only plays next season and that's it, well, then. But, if he plays 2 seasons at least, which I think he has at least 2 more left in him, 3, I think, is the maximum he's got left. If he does 2, though, then I think, okay, give us at least 1 first. It can be this year, it can be next year, but we need a first rounder.
I don't see the Jets taking him though.
No?
No, I don't think they want him. I think the best bet would be to go down south to the Raiders to Vegas.
Supposedly the Vegas Raiders are trying to make their push now too.
I think the Raiders will. I think because of Devontae Adams, they will be strong contenders for the Aaron Rodgers giveaway.
I'd kind of be all for it too because 7th pick versus the 13th pick, I'll take the 7th every night. But
I don't think the Raiders would give up that 7th pick for him. I don't see that happening.
Maybe, but I don't see Green Bay accepting many players from them either. I know some people were saying maybe Darren Waller because the Packers need a tight end, but this draft class is so loaded with tight ends, I just don't see why Green Bay would want to take Darren Waller when they could get like a Michael Mayer or a Dalton Kincaid, or even in the 2nd or 3rd round, they could get a pretty solid tight end this year in the draft.
And they don't have anything defensively to offer right now. So
other than maybe a Max Crosby?
Yeah, Crosby's good, but
that's the only player on the defense I could think of, but I don't see the Raiders doing that.
Or maybe, just maybe, there's a team out west that, their experiment with a certain quarterback doesn't seem to be working so well, and I hate to beat him up, but I don't think Kyle Murray's proven he can be an NFL quarterback.
Right, and they've already talked about cutting him
too.
or getting rid of him.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be enough to get DeAndre to stick around, I bet, if Rodgers was coming to the desert.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Aaron Rodgers throwing to DeAndre Hopkins. If you're a defense, good luck. As long as Rodgers stays healthy, that is.
Well, that's one thing that Arizona does have is a pretty decent offensive line still.
Yeah. can't remember who they got a solid tandem in the backfield as well. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's top 5 in the league, but it's still pretty solid back there though too. So I mean, it wouldn't be too bad for them. They'd have a little work to do, but I mean, they got players on that offensive side that'd be fun to watch. But based on everything I'm hearing, it's almost sounding like, it's sounding like they almost have a deal in place with the Jets. It's just a matter of
waiting for the deadline.
It hasn't been announced yet.
They're
I've been wrong
still
before,
they're still figuring out compensations, what it is.
Right. Did you hear Mark Murphy's latest interview though earlier today? I figured not, but well, putting it long story short, based on the narrative that he's spoken, it sounds like the Packers are pretty much set on they're turning the page, they're moving on, they're going to Jordan Love. Like it based on the way Mark Murphy put it, it's pretty much set in stone at this point. It's more likely that Rodgers is going to play for somebody else versus the Green Bay Packers. Like at this point now, it's yep, I'd be surprised if he was a Packer next season.
So what do you think, Austin, of the Bears deal?
I tell you what, I think, first and foremost, I almost wish I had Rico's number because I'd have been like, congratulations, sir. Don't even bother getting a lottery ticket because you just won the lottery right there.
Yeah, DJ Moore by himself was that guy's a first round pick to get, I feel.
DJ Moore, oh yeah. And then, it's finally giving Justin Fields a weapon down there too. And if they can maintain David Montgomery in the backfield too, yeah, I'm looking at this like, oh wow, my Packers are literally about to be fourth in the NFC North next year.
Mm-hmm.
But they finally got a weapon, and depending on what happens on the draft,
our division's going to be ugly next year. Ugly.
Yeah.
And we got no defense now. We basically cut our entire starting defense.
Yeah, and Zadarius Smith wants out too, apparently.
Well, yeah. Do you blame him? Who's left? He went there because he wanted to be a contender. That's why Darius wants out now. He has no Kendricks. He has no Patrick Peterson there. He has no Harrison Smith. What's he want to be around for? There's nothing to be there for.
So here's a real question. Are the Detroit Lions now the favorite to win that division now?
With the moves I've seen, I would put Bears right there with them at this point. They got DJ Moore. They got draft capital. Their defense has always been stingy nastiness. They're not changing. They're still a nasty defense. They get a couple key pieces. They got salary cap to do it still because their quarterback's why? Not been signed yet, right? So they got that. They got that cheap money quarterback right now. They could make a good run next year. They're, like Ed said at the beginning of the show, they're almost $100 million under the cap right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of wiggle room yet. It's going to be a very interesting free agency for them.
Well, I can think of 3 good defensive players that know their division well. They can pick up probably pretty cheap right now.
Guys, I hate this, but I got to go. I got to get to bed. I got work tomorrow.
Good seeing you, Skip.
Later, Skipper.
Thanks, Skipper. Hey, Austin, say something now that Skipper's gone. My sound drivers are messed up, and I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Ed can't hear me. Well, that may not necessarily be a bad thing. My voice
I'm going to leave and come back
sometimes.
again.
That's weird because it did it to him the other night. He couldn't hear Danny either.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on. It's just so bizarre. So I'm going to leave YouTube also, and then I'll be back. I'll literally be like 30 seconds.
All right, bud.
All right. And he's going to get. Goodbye, Ed.
Like I said, guys, like I said in the title, you never know what you're going to get on this show, man. We'll be popping, coming, new people coming up, another guy leaving, guys hopping up for their thing, going here and there. That's just the way this show is. We're just going to have a good time. Whatever happens, happens. There he is.
Oh, Ed back already. There we go. Not even 30 seconds. He's quick.
I think Ed's starting to understand how to work this here YouTube pretty good now.
There we go.
I definitely need to work on my sound drivers. There is something going wrong with my sound drivers when occasionally one person just won't come through. And I feel terrible because I love listening to Austin.
Are you hearing him now?
Can you hear me now?
I heard you at the end. I heard you say, "Can you hear me now?" And it was all staticky. But you're not staticky right now. It's just bizarre. So strange. And it started when I first got this computer, and so it's definitely this computer. And the first time it ever happened was I was on Lefty's show, and we had Jen Williams and Carrie, the science gal, also. And I couldn't hear Carrie at all. So, but, you know, why don't we just call it a night? It was a good one. But, or if you guys want to keep going, just keep talking, and I'll head out because I just don't
I
want to
could
talk
probably
over
call
Austin.
it too. I got to get this fish room fed. But Austin, it was good to see you, man. One of these nights we'll have you up for the whole night.
And one of these times I won't make plans to get in the way, but yeah, had a free night here, so figured like, well, I don't get many of these free nights, so it's like, yeah, spend a little time with the wife, which, hey, our
I
team
bet
won
you
too, so that's good.
that.
Hmm?
Well, I look forward to this. This is really getting fun. Ed, by next week I will have that. I got it downloaded to my phone, and I'll get that for our backdrop.
Cool. I'll try to make a nice logo for us also. I kind of like the gold logo. The one I put right in the center.
Yeah, I like that too.
And then we could just use that as our stickers.
Austin's looking back and forth like he's getting arrested almost.
No, so I'm actually in my car and such here as it happened, and some bozo like doesn't know how to park and decided to park right on the freaking line next to us, which I don't know why they got that logic. Their door literally hit the front end of my car and such, so, and act like nothing happened, but it's like, okay, whatever.
They dinged your car?
Say again?
You said they dinged your car?
I mean, I guess they didn't just run into it. Like, somebody opened the door and just put on it, which it's still like, hey, come on, why'd you park that close?
That's irritating to me, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they ran into it. I didn't get, like, rear-ended or nothing, but it's still like, come on, you had all that space. But I don't know. I'm not trying to bring road rage here on this stream.
I look forward to it. So you'll see this guy. Ed, when's the next time you're streaming, bub?
I'll be on Wednesday night on Mr. Manifesto's channel. We've got about 45 subs on that channel. Oh, hi. We've got about 45 subs on that channel, and we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And a lot of us, it's been either decades or never have played ever. So it's kind of fun reliving our past.
Nice. Austin, you're still going Mondays, right?
Yep, still going on Mondays. Haven't got a topic picked just yet. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Mac and how he's now in the plywood tank and such now and all that. So I'm sure we'll touch up a little bit more on that, which I actually put a new video out here on that today, actually.
Nice.
He's doing a lot better now. 2 days, and yeah, he's already eaten his normal amount and such. I think, yeah, he's about to have a major growth spurt in there. He's about to take right off that and really start growing, I think.
Nice. Well, as you guys know, me and Danny will be on at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every Sunday night for the Sunday night shenanigans. So, as always, guys, love your fish, play your ball, whatever. God, it's hard to break our old habits, huh? When you're used to saying something when you're YouTube, and we gotta come up with some new catchy line for this channel. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming out. We'll catch you soon.
Stay fantastic, y'all.